For the first IKEA hack, we're going to be making this DIY jewelry cloche, and for this you're going to need what is advertised on IKEA as a glass dome with base. I will link it in the description box down below along with everything I used. Some wood stain, a wooden dowel, a saw, some E6000 glue. You're going to need some gloves to cover your hands and something to cover your workspace, as well as something to apply the wood stain with. So you're going to start off by just measuring with your wooden dowel exactly how short or tall you would like it to measure in your little glass dome, because they do come in different sizes. So once you've figured that out, you're just going to take your saw and go ahead and saw off whatever piece you are using for this. And then we go in with the wood stain. So I find that the wood stain works best when you just apply it directly to the wood and kind of paint it on with a foam brush. For this particular piece of wood, the wood stain did absorb quite nicely. If it doesn't in the wood that you're using, all you have to do is take a towel or a paper towel and wipe off the excess. You're going to allow that to dry, and then after that, you're just going to apply some of your E6000 glue to one side of the wooden dowel and glue it directly into the middle of the base of the wood, and it dries pretty nicely. And this is what your finished jewelry cloche looks like. It's really great for organizing any jewelry, and it looks great as a decor piece in your room. The next hack turns this plain mirror into a organizational piece for your room. So for this, you're going to need the IKEA mirror, some E6000 glue, a saw. I'm using the same wooden dowel from earlier, and then just a wooden piece. And then also you're gonna need matte black paint. I'm using chalkboard paint. So for this, you're just going to take your wooden piece and your wooden dowel and just measure out how long or short you would like your little organizational additions for your mirror. Once you figure that out, you're gonna go back in with your saw. Just saw off those pieces that you're gonna need. I used 2 pieces of the wooden dowel and then 1 of the wood. The next step is to just spray paint those pieces. I find that using the chalkboard paint is easier because you only need 1 coat of the paint. So after that is dry, you're going to add the E6000 glue to the back of the wood piece and then secure it under the little mirror just to kind of create a little shelf. Now, if you don't place it in the right spot, don't worry about it. You can move it for about the first 5 minutes. Then I added both of my wooden dowels at the bottom, and once it's dry, you have your new little organizational mirror. I love this for my room. It adds like a bold statement, and then it's also an organizational piece as well. The next hack is this DIY chopping board, and just more to tell you that you can pretty much add paint to anything from IKEA and spice it up instantly. So for this, I'm just using a wooden chopping board. This was under $5. Some silver leaf paint, a paintbrush, and lastly, you're going to need some painter's tape. So I just took my painter's tape and sectioned off like the bottom of the chopping board just because that's where I wanted to add my paint. And once that's done, make sure you cover your workspace. So I'm just going in and adding a layer of the silver leaf paint. I initially was gonna make the bottom of this marble. However, my coffee table is already marble, so I just wanted to kind of add like a bold metallic pop to this to place it on top of my coffee table just to kind of put my coasters on it. So you can pretty much, like I said, do anything with this, add a little bit of paint or some sort of design to it. After that, you want to remove the painter's tape immediately, and then you want to let it dry. Once it's completely dry, you have your new cool little chopping board. For this next hack, we're going to be using one of those round cork boards. I seem to pick these up every single time I go to IKEA because they come in a pack of 3. They're really affordable and you can use them for just about anything. So for this, we're just going to need one of those cork boards. I'm using a piece of faux suede. You can also use fabric for this, some twine, a hot glue gun. You're going to need some sort of tacks. That's actually optional. If you don't want to use the tacks, you don't have to. And lastly, you're going to need a pair of scissors. So what I did is I just basically laid out my little piece of fabric here, and I just took the scissors and kind of cut along the circle. You don't want it to be super perfect, so it doesn't really matter on this part. Next, taking your hot glue, you're just going to glue down the bottom portion of that fabric, leaving the top of the fabric not glued down, obviously, because what we're doing here is we're creating a little pocket. So once you're done adding all of that hot glue, you have your little pocket created here. Now this part is optional. You can go ahead and add in some tacks just for decor purposes. However, keep in mind, this was like really hard to do, and it would probably be best if you use like a hammer to get the tacks in, just because it is hard to puncture through the cork, the material, and the hot glue. So I'm taking the twine here and I'm just layering it up. I actually, instead of doing 1 piece of twine, I wanted to do 3. This is just gonna make it a little bit more sturdy. So once you've cut out those pieces of twine, you're just going to hot glue all 3 together to a little dollop of hot glue on one side, and then you're obviously going to repeat that same process on the other side. Now you wanna go back in and add a layer of hot glue over the twine. This is just going to secure it even more, but the hot glue dries instantly, and once you're done, you can hang it up and you have your new little corkboard pocket organizer. So those were my IKEA hacks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I upload DIYs every week, so make sure to check out my channel for more and more IKEA hacks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!